Face in the Abyss by A. Merritt. Abraham Grace Merritt, known by readers as A. Merritt, was one of the early stars of weird pulp fiction. His stories featured an appealing mixture of Edgar Rice Burroughs-style adventure and H.P. Lovecraft or H. Rider Haggard-style fascination with ancient, malevolent, and forgotten civilizations. Though he trained as a lawyer, Merritt moved into journalism early in his adult life. He became a very successful editor for mainstream publications, eventually earning $100,000 per year at a time when that was still considered a great deal of money. Merritt was simply a dabbler in pulp fiction, though it has been stated by those who knew him that he was very interested in mystical beliefs and tales of subterranean cultures, as well as psychotropic plants like cannabis, datura, and peyote. Merritt was not alone in these interests. The early 20th century saw the publication of a great deal of mystical literature, and the public's fascination extended to fictional accounts of the same. In some of my other reviews, I've referenced what were called fix-up novels. These were novels composed of two or more stories that had been previously published in pulp magazines. Face in the Abyss is just such a fix-up. It is a combination of a story of the same title and another called The Snake Mother. The main character, Nicholas Graydon, is a gentleman adventurer in search of fabled gold and other treasures left behind by the Incas. Pulp stories of that era commonly featured beautiful young women who attract 20th century heroes into previously undreamed of cultures and belief systems. This story is no different. Graydon encounters a beautiful woman named Suara, who leads him to a hidden realm in a deep abyss. The face of the title refers to a giant golden mask in which is trapped the spirit of an evil being known as Nimir. Naturally, the threat of Nimir being released from his golden prison is a major plot point in the novel. Face in the Abyss may have been a fresh concept at the time of its original publication in Argosy All-Story Weekly in 1923. But for today's science fiction and fantasy enthusiasts, the story travels very familiar terrain. I found it to be a run-of-the-mill adventure story spiced with metaphysical concepts. I read the whole book. I didn't give up on it, but before I was finished reading it, I was already eager to move on to my next novel. I liked the colorful cover art on this 35-cent Avon edition. I had heard a lot about A. Merritt when researching other pulp authors like H.P. Lovecraft and Clark Ashton Smith, and I had wanted to check out his work. When I found this old paperback at Half Price Books, I couldn't pass it up. I'm glad I read it, but it's hard to give Face in the Abyss a strong recommendation. It is probably of interest only to completists and those familiar with the pulp magazine world of the early 20th century.